Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Empowered Heart to Heart. We're so glad that you're here and you're able to join us today. I'm so glad to be able to interview one of my newfound friends, Miss Gaby Ortiz, who is the program director at Two Lives Changed. You're in for a treat today because you're going to find out more about her and about her organization. And so I'm so glad that you've joined us today, where you will hear messages of hope and conversations that heal. And today you're going to hear an interview that empowers. And so join me in welcoming Miss Gaby Ortiz to our show. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And so tell us about yourself and your organization and its mission.
Okay, great. So, my name is Gaby Ortiz. I was a teen mom. I had my first daughter when I was 16 years old. Um, I've lived in the Houston area, just recently relocated to San Antonio about 4 years ago in 2018. I also have two other children, a bonus daughter, and some grandkids. I've been married for over 25 years, 20 years plus. I'm counting the time that we put in before with my husband. And
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Gabby, but I'm just going to say what everyone else is thinking who may be watching this. You do not look like you've been married 25 years and have grandkids. OMG, you look amazing. I know that was just a little sidebar, but wow.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, so when I met my husband, he had an older daughter, and she is now 26, going to be 27, and so she's been blessed with three beautiful grandchildren. So yeah, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations. So tell us about Two Lives Changed.
Yes. So Two Lives Changed. Our mission is we're committed to helping young mothers, young families create a confident lifestyle. We support them through various ways. We actually started in 2008 by my executive director. Her name is Jennifer Simpson. And she created this group through a Bible study. And they wanted to just bless young moms. They put together some baskets for baby showers. And we're actually going to have our community baby shower coming up this Thursday. So we're
Great.
excited about that. And she saw the need to where it was more of, they wanted to do more. They were able to go into churches, they were able to go into the community, but it was just once. And then they wouldn't really hear from them. They couldn't really assist further. So she's like, I want to do more. Let me see if I can get in there and build kind of a support group. So that's where the support group mentality started from. Originally, we were called Teen Life Center, with the focus being just on young teen moms. And while that need is still there, when I came to the San Antonio area and started servicing our community, we noticed that there were women, 19, 20, 24 even, who were, having multiple children and needed the same assistance and resource that perhaps they didn't get. Maybe they were from former teen moms. And so a lot of the organizations were focused on providing that support to the younger group. So we were kind of trying to see where we could meet their needs. So we changed our name to Two Lives Changed, because we know that we're impacting the child and the mother. And so
Absolutely.
that's where our focus is now. We have an age requirement, 24 and under, but again, we know everybody's situation's different. We certainly want to help and be a blessing where we can.
You mentioned something about a statistic. One of the statistics that I've recently learned is that Texas has the highest repeat teen births in the country,
Mhm.
and we're the ninth highest state for just first time teen births. And so we're definitely in the right place at the right time. And so, what is the impact your organization has had on the community that you're the proudest of?
So, while we've had several success stories, thank goodness, the one that really resonates with me, and I think is the perfect example of how TLC is a community model is, so here in San Antonio, it's twofold. We have the ability to take our model to a maternity house that's located in Bulverde, and we visit with them twice a month. We take the lessons, we have dinner, we build community with them, and then we have our outside TLC program that meets weekly. So during one of our visits to the maternity home, we were introduced to a young lady named Kimberly, and she was flourishing there, but she's like, I'm ready for another opportunity. So we met her there, and then she came to our TLC meetings outside in San Antonio. Right around that time, she was looking to transfer to another maternity home. At this point, TLC has opened up Gabriel's House in Houston, which is the first of our kind of program where we are going to house a woman, and we're going to help her get to independence. So Kim essentially was one of the first two girls that we had in this program. She started in January of 2021. And during that time, she came to us. She didn't have a driver's license. She didn't have a car. She didn't have education above a GED. And so during that time, she was able to get a driver's license, was donated a vehicle,
Wow.
was enrolled and graduated from a welding certification program,
Yeah.
um, is now living independently and volunteering back at the church. And I think that,
That is
like I said, that was like a perfect example of how, even meeting her at the maternity home to where our influence is honestly twice a month. We go in there, we meet these girls, but just that trust that we're building, and then for her to come in to want to do more and now to give back. I mean, that's really the goal.
that is wonderful. Gabby, one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show is because the mission statement of Two Lives Changed is very, very similar to the Simmons Empowerment Foundation, um, where we eventually will have a home for unwed teen moms. And so I get to watch you do that. And that is so exciting. For those who are outside of Texas listening or watching this, Texas is such a huge state until there's no overlapping, there's no competition. There are so many people. There are so many people to service until there's a place for all of us. And I really, really appreciate the hard work that you and your team are doing with Two Lives Changed. So, what are your biggest challenges?
So being new to San Antonio, and like you mentioned, there is so many organizations that we do similar things. Of course, everybody's different. You're going to have your own spin on it. We like to say we're a relational ministry where we build that community with the girls. So a lot of these programs who have, large amounts of money and are able to do a lot, it's more of you come in and you're there for a little bit and then you get the resources that you need, and then you're hopefully on to bigger, better things. But here, what we've seen is that we walk alongside the girl where they are in their life. So if they need, that positive reinforcement, because a lot of times they are not coming from a environment that is supporting them, that's encouraging them, and perhaps it's just all that they've seen. So when they visit with us, our volunteers, we surround them with love, with positive influences of role models of what you can do. And that possibility. So one of the challenges being here is that we didn't have the finances right off the bat. We are donation based, so we run off solely donations, some grants that we've been provided by organizations, but mainly just that income of finances to be able to pay our staff to do more for these girls, and consistent volunteers. Again, a lot of my volunteers, we work full time. So, the possibilities of what we could do if this was the full-time gig, and so being able to have that structure and that that ability to just concentrate full time, I just think about what doors we could open if we had that possibility.
Wow, wow. And I know from one 501(c)(3) organization to another, waiting on grants and going through the process and being solely dependent on donations can be a little nerve-wracking because you don't know what's going to come in month by month, and it is truly a faith walk, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
But and it's very interesting that you mentioned about the giving, because I heard that you have a really unique event coming up called Not Your Average Mama. I
Yeah.
love it. Not Your Average Mama. And so tell us more about it.
Yeah, so we're so excited to have our first San Antonio fundraiser. Houston, like I said, they've been in business since 2008. So they've had galas and they've had fundraiser events, but this is our first San Antonio event. So we're super excited about that. We are going to celebrate the moms, let you hear their stories, they're going to share with you. So it's really a good opportunity to learn more about organization, learn more about these girls, meet us, meet them, and kind of see what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and how you can get involved and how you can help and anything. We're gonna have some great raffle prizes and auctioneer, so we're really excited about it.
Well, that's great. That's great. I put on the screen for those who may be watching this how to get tickets. When is the event?
The event is Saturday, July 16th, and it is starts at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and it's located at a establishment called Espuelas. It's downtown San Antonio.
Okay, that sounds really good. That's really exciting. And so, tell me something. For the people, the young ladies that you serve, how do you find them? How do they get to you?
So, originally, and what's been working really well is social media. So, we have a social media presence on Instagram, on Facebook. We are part of mom groups. A lot of times, young moms will post on there that they need assistance. And so, we'll let them know that we're available and, here we are. And then there's word of mouth, very powerful. The girls come in and they tell their friends, and they're like, hey, this is great. You should come. It's once a week, you get diapers, and then our community baby showers. So we advertise for those also through social media, and we'll reach out to some pregnancy crisis centers and say, if you have any clients who are within this time frame or are expecting or perhaps just delivered, we would love to shower them. And then once they come in, they find the location, they get to meet us, and then a lot of our girls end up staying and coming back for the weekly meetings.
Well, good, good. So I know TLC, which I think is great, even though it stands for Two Lives Changed. It also makes me think about tender love and care, which I
Mhm.
think just goes hand in hand with what you do. But aside from money, what types of donations could people give to your organization?
Oh, diapers, wipes, any gently used baby clothes, gently used women's business clothes. We certainly have, phases to where if they're going for an interview or job fairs, we usually let them know what's going on in the city that pertains to their situation. Again, everyone's in a different walk. And so women's clothes, gently used baby items, so high chairs, playpens, car seats, anything like that, that are those big ticket items that perhaps they're unable to get on their own. And we're able to receive that as a donation and bless them with that.
Good, good. Actually, the Simmons Empowerment Foundation has a few of those items that we'd like to share. Well, not share, but give you, uh, so that the young ladies can be blessed. I'm just so impressed with your program. In fact, our organization started a program called Dear Future Me, which is a 100% virtual program to improve college and career readiness for at-risk students. And one of your clients, one of your girls, enrolled in the program, and she's been doing very well. And I don't know, have you gotten any feedback from her about what she thinks of the program so far?
So, yes, she is one of my more quieter girls. So, she thoroughly enjoys it and she likes the guest speakers. I believe you'll have those on Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, and so she looks forward to those and she's very much enjoying it. So I'm very excited that we were able to plug her in and get her that, because sometimes when we think that they're not listening or, it's those little things that are clicking with them that is making an impact. And that's what I believe is happening.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad it's working out for her. Um, so one of the things that I heard you say, that every young lady is different, and they enter and exit the program at different times. And so how do you know when a young lady is ready to exit the program?
So as you mentioned, they are all on different walks of life. They come to us, some are a little more, need a little more assistance than others, some just need a little nudge. And so we look at the girl as a whole, and we look at their independence. So are they able to, work consistently? Create, do they have the do they have a bank account, driver's license, insurance, they have a vehicle, etc., and a strength relationship with God. So each one of these girls comes to us, and they can be at various stages of their faith walk. Some are have going to church their whole life, they're familiar. Some girls have never even approached, who God is and what God does, and so we meet them where they are, and we just walk them through it. So we are seeing that they are the leader of the house or of their child, and so we want to make sure that they have a strong relationship with God, they have good understanding, and are able to have that independence as soon as they leave our doors. And a lot of times, these girls have that sense of wanting to give back, and they'll come back and end up volunteering with us, and that's wonderful.
Yes. I was listening to you about your own testimony and the testimony of, I believe you said her name is Kimberly. Yes, and so that's something that just amazes me because from your own walk and your own journey, and as well as Kimberly, you're able to turn around and as Jesus said, strengthen your brother, and it's strengthen your sister and help someone else and pay it forward. And so I really appreciate that about what you're doing. And so how can someone get involved with your organization? Because some people don't mind writing a check, which is great, always great.
Mm-hmm.
It is tax deductible, always great. But some people want to do more. Some people like to be hands-on and they want to literally give back of themselves. How do they do that? Is that an opportunity?
Oh,
What can they do?
absolutely. So we always will have them reach out to us, and they can reach out to us through Facebook, through Instagram. We'll always invite them to a meeting. That way they come, they get a feel for it, they see, is it going to work as far as distance wise, time commitment, etc. Once they're in and they say, yes, I love it, we do a volunteer onboarding where they'll get, the paperwork, they get more information, and then we plug them into a team. Ideally, once we have, currently I have about 4 or 5 volunteers, but we, in the long run, in the dream, would like to have teams that would take care of a night. So, for example, we have one team that's going to do the first and third Thursday, and then we have a separate team who's going to do the second and fourth. Perhaps someone has a stronger calling towards Bible study versus someone, maybe their skills are more heavily in health and fitness or childcare. So we want to plug them in to where we're utilizing their gifts to the best way that we can, and also being mindful of their time and their life commitments.
Like I said, there's so much to be done. I remember when I first got to Texas, I had a dream, and in that dream, God was quoting this verse to me about look out on the fields, for they're white and ready to harvest. And that's an actual Bible verse. It escapes me now. It's in one of the 4 Gospels, and meaning that there's so much to be done.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to be done. No one has the market cornered. No one can do it all. We have to work together, and that's why I wanted you here on the show because you're doing something that's making a difference. And can you tell us again when the event is that's coming up? Not your average mama. See, you can't say that just all plain. You
Yeah,
got the head in it. Not your
that's
average
right.
mama. Okay, give us
Yes.
the logistics of that event again.
Yes, it's Saturday, July 16th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Espuelas. It's downtown San Antonio.
That is great. That is great. And for our podcast listeners, I'm going to put the link to the event to where you can buy tickets in the description of this episode of Empowered Heart to Heart. That way you can get it and you can get your tickets. Don't wait to the last minute because they need head counts. They're planning based upon the number of tickets that they sold. So don't wait to the last minute. They want to know that this will be a successful event. Your giving is tax deductible, and more importantly, Gabby, one of the things that I've heard in past interviews that I've done with other teen moms is that um, above all, despite the, oh my goodness, I'm a mom, I don't know what to do feeling, they had no support system, and they had this overwhelming sense of shame that their immediate families put on them. And so when people show up for your event, then that's telling the girls, I care. I
Mhm.
care about you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to support you. And so I think it's tremendous what you're doing. Get a ticket, get it today. Don't wait. You see, I'm put it up on the screen again. To get your tickets, you can go to that website so you can attend the Nacho Average Mama.
Yay.
I love saying it, Nacho Average Mama. And if you're watching this or listening to this and you're not from Texas, it does not have as much of an effect on you about the nachos,
Yeah.
because nachos are king in
Yeah.
Texas. And so it just fits. And so, Gabby, one last question.
Mhm.
And so, my last question is, what does empowerment mean to you?
That is a great question. And I love empowerment to me is when we give someone the tools and the confidence and the love and support that they then are able to pour into others. And they then feel, I mean, when you give someone, you tell them they're doing a good job, that is the best thing. They want to go out and they want to continue to do a good job for you, for themselves, for their children. And so just that confidence and speaking that love into them and over them, like that is such an empowering feeling. And then you're able to do so much.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. And again, thank you for being here on the show of Empowered Heart to Heart. It's been a pleasure getting to know you better, and especially getting to know more about Two Lives Changed. I'm sure this will not be the last time that our paths cross. And again, I encourage our listeners and our viewers, make sure that you get involved with Two Lives Changed. The link to buy the tickets is on your screen. It'll be in the podcast description as well, because you want to get involved. You want to help someone. Um, as we close, there's an old hymn, and no, I'm not about to sing, uh, but there's an old hymn that says, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that he's traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. And that's what it's all about. We want to help others. We're on this path together. And you know what, Gabby? I don't know. I can't say I've known you for 50 years, but I think as a part of being human, we have all made mistakes,
Mhm.
whatever they are. We have all made mistakes, things that we would, look back now and say, wish I had done that differently, or wish I hadn't done that at all, or we all have. It's a part of being human, and it's a part of becoming an adult. Um, but our whole premise is, what are we going to do now?
Mhm.
And so I appreciate you being here. Any final words you're thinking that maybe you should have added, could have added? Anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to say, I want to thank you so much for the time and the platform for sharing about Two Lives Changed. And I do, similar to what you said, these girls come to us and we are meeting them in that very special place of what now. So, they have come from somewhere where they're not celebrated. They're looked upon as a statistic. They're filled with shame. And, while society looks at teen pregnancy a certain way, these children are blessings to these young women. I cannot tell you how many countless times I've talked to these girls and they say, this baby saved my life. I was going down this way, and now, I want to be better. I want to learn more. I want to give my child a different life. And it just takes them stepping out of their comfort zone and coming to one of our meetings, getting to know them. They don't feel alone. They're surrounded by girls who are in the same boat and similar backgrounds, and then they can create a whole new life just by changing that. You go to one meeting and you're like, hey, I feel home, someone's encouraging me, so this is what it's like to be celebrated for a new job, or a new anything. And so that's really what our goal is to celebrate these girls and to let them know that, yeah, this is what it looked like, but this is what it can be, and we're going to help you get there.
Yes, yes. And yes, I'm so glad for the work that you do. And thanks again for being on the show. We appreciate you very, very much. And I'm looking forward to hearing the progress that Two Lives Changed will continue to make in the future. Thanks
Thank
again for
you.
being here. All right. Thank you so much. We're so glad that you were able to tune in today to our broadcast, Empowered Heart to Heart. Continue to listen, continue to tune in because great things are happening. And we want to encourage you to gather your teams and let them hear these messages of hope, these conversations that heal, and these interviews that empower. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next episode of Empowered Heart to Heart.